everybody, and welcome to my first impressions of Finding Teddy. Finding Teddy is a first-person adventure game published by Plug-in Digital, which is really cool. It's really short. That's one thing I've got to say, but it's got a lot of very cool things going for it. Like, it's got a very beautiful art style and a lot of charm, to say one thing for sure. So let's go ahead and get started. Start a new game right here. We're gonna go into this little apartment space to begin things, and we're this cute little girl. We're this really freaky spider leg comes out of our wardrobe and takes our little teddy bear away. So of course we're gonna be a little bit upset about that. So this is one thing I will say. This is oh, whoops. Are we going to the window? Oh, no, we're going all the way to the wardrobe already. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and jump on in there. This is, no, okay, we're going to the Finding Teddy logo screen here. But basically, I should start off by saying one complaint that I do have about this game initially. It is very much on rails, which is something that I really dislike about, really dislike it whenever this happens in point-and-click adventure games. Might just be a pet peeve of my own. But for example, if we click like here and here, we don't actually move to those locations. You only have a selective, you only have a very limited selection of where you can go. Like in this case, the only things that we can interact with on this map right here is leaving to the left side or leaving to the right side, and we actually cannot click to like go in the middle. So I don't know, just a small pet peeve on my part, but I really hate it when when point-and-click adventure games don't allow you to walk wherever you please. Just a very small detail that makes a big old difference to me. But one thing you might be noticing initially, as I mentioned before, this game is freaking beautiful! Like, lots of people get tired of the pixel art style, but I'm for one, I'm never gonna get tired of it, especially when we keep on seeing unique, beautiful games like this one right here. So here we go, we've got this first puzzle in front of us in the way of this big blob man. One thing I gotta say, going into this game, it's very cutesy and wonderful, but it's also kind of disturbing, as you'll see right here, while we get this really, quite frankly, kind of gruesome death in the way that that monster kind of eats us. Nice thing about this game, though, there's pretty much no punishment for death whatsoever. Every time you die, they just respawn you right back where you were before. The only punishment for death is, that you just have to watch the death cutscene, because there's no way to skip that. But, going back to gameplay, hey, cute little line of frogs. Are they gonna sing a song for me? I guess they don't sing a song yet. We'll have to come back to that. But, going back to the gameplay for this thing, one thing that I do think that they did very, very right, though, in this game, is kind of having a fast-forward movement. If you just click once on, like, one of the directions, you'll just walk there, but if you double-click, your character will, oh, whoops. Want to go back to the other side. The little girl will actually do a kind of little jog over there to pick up the pace a little. So that actually makes a huge difference to me as well. I hate it when you're just like sluggishly walking back and forth to from place to place. So, by clicking onto our little girl, we could pick up our inventory screen right here, which will allow us to take the apple and pretty much just hand it to the dude. Really standard point-and-click adventure stuff, you know. Puzzles are basically just find an item. Well, puzzles for the most part in these games are find an item, bring it to a location, and use it on said location. Basically, how we open up our inventory in this game is just click on our little girl right here. Luckily, this little blob guy was happy enough eating that golden apple. He turned gold himself and he left. So where do we go from here? I have to try and remember this. I believe the frog, yep, the little frog king is right here. And he's going to introduce to us another really big puzzle mechanic in this game. Honestly, probably the biggest. And it actually is, music. Like, this guy is singing these little notes right here. And we're gonna have to memorize those notes later and use those to solve puzzles. But, in addition to that, we will also have to, figure out a very important detail that some of you might be noticing right now about the letters that he spells out. So, let's just go ahead and explore a little bit. There's actually no need for us to explore this direction, if I remember correctly. We, let's go into the cave over onwards to the left while exploring more of this beautiful scenery. The lighting in this game is so good, so good. It always amazes me in these games when there's really good lighting and stuff like that. There's more musical notes chilling up there. I gotta say, this room right here, I have no idea what this room is for. I think this is supposed to tell us the importance of the music, but there isn't really a puzzle specific to this guy, if I'm correct. And, nothing really happens with him, so I don't know. Let's go ahead and pick up this big old blue jar and keep on moseying along our way. So, let me think. What was I going to say next? Let's talk about, like, some of the positives and negatives about this game. I definitely love the frickin' art style. The art style is beautiful, and for the sound, all the sounds that there are, it is all very, very lovely. But I do wish, in regards to the soundtrack in this game, I do wish there was a little bit more. Like, look at this waterfall, it's so pretty. But I do wish that there was just a teeny bit more in this game, because once you spend a lot of time trying to solve the puzzles in the area, it gets kind of, not dull, but feels somewhat empty without, like, various soundtrack pieces playing, continuously in the background. But let's go ahead and listen to this frog, because he's going to give us something very important right here. We gotta memorize his little notes. Okay, I think I got it. Like, bam, 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 bam. It's like two different ones, then, like a low, high, same, low, something like that. Because we have to meander ourselves onwards over to, these little frogs, that were way over here once again, and try to solve the puzzle with them. Nope, that's not first. Okay, so this one's the middle one. I can actually solve this by kind of knowing the answer already. I think it's boom. No, that was wrong. There we go, okay. The puzzle, actually, once you know how it works, is actually made much more easy by just looking at the notes. Looking at the notes is an easy way to memorize them as well. We'll actually get to the very significant importance of those once we get to the next puzzle. We'll just pass up on that for now. But, oh, that's right, we need something else for this. We need to go get more water for our bucket! I forgot about that, before we can accomplish any of that. So, but yes, as I was saying, personally, I feel like there's a little bit to be desired in regards to the soundtrack of this game. It's, because there isn't a huge amount going on, although I do think the sound pieces do get better as time goes on. Like, unfortunately, since I'm representing the first chapter of this game in the forest, I do think this one has, like, the most boring, setup, in the audio regard, I suppose. So let's go ahead and take our bucket and fill her up right on over here. But, also the game is very, very short, I gotta say. I beat the game. I've played through the whole game once already. There is a New Game Plus mode, but from what I saw of testing out that, it didn't seem to add too much. Just kinda changes, like, character customization. But the game is really, really short. I beat it in, like, about an hour and 20 minutes? Around that range. I did get stuck quite a few times, but even then, I never got, like, horribly stuck. Now, let's go ahead and show another death right here. All these gray guys, you gotta be really scared of the gray dudes, because anytime you're gonna interact with a gray person at all, they're almost, certainly gonna end up killing you, until you get the answer to their puzzle, and right now the answer here is to just, pour the water on that plant to make this king or queen bee happier. The queen usually stays in the hive, so I would guess that this is a king, but never really heard of a king bee, so let's just meander back on this way. But really, honestly, one thing I also have to say is that when I first started this game, like when I was in these, this foresty segment, I honestly, we're gonna cut off this little bush right here now as the next piece of the puzzle, but, honestly, when I first played this game around here, I honestly didn't, I just said honestly like 5 times, but I personally, I didn't really, I wasn't really enjoying my time with the game, but, the good thing is, quite rapidly, the more and more time I put into it, I was enjoying it more and more. Like, initially I was like, the visuals look really nice, but the gameplay feels a lot clunky by being on rails, and, I don't know, the puzzles aren't really all that engaging. They mainly are, for the most part, like grab item, bring item here, like most bare bones point-and-click adventure puzzles that you could get. But, we're gonna use the little stick to get actually a, companion, which is a very unique thing about this game. It does have some puzzles that are based on companions, like this little fly man that we've got with us right here, and we'll, mosey on along to the puzzle regarding him before too long. But I gotta say, like, the more time I've put into this game, and especially getting towards the game's completion and seeing the ending, this game has a lot of charm to it. It really, suckers you in more and more as you play throughout the game, despite its, kind of slow beginnings, I would say. So next we got meander on over here. You guys might have noticed the feather that was chilling up in the air, and the game's going to tutorialize this a little bit for us because it's our first time doing it. Basically how our companions work, we will get a second one later on in the game, but you can actually select on them like you can select on yourself, but by selecting them, you're basically saying, hey, I want you to do this task. So we're gonna select our fly and ask him to fly on up there and get that little feather for us. Kind of amazing. Feathers are very, very light, but kind of amazing that that fly was able to pick it up and bring it back down onto us. I would not have expected he would be able to do that, at least quite effectively as he did. So, obviously, since I've played through this before, I know what to do with the feather, but your first time through you would be like, oh, where do we bring this feather? Unless you did a bit more exploring than I've done in this video right here. Basically, we just need to meander on over to this side and hand the feather to this lovely, weird bird tiki statue man. So let's go ahead and do that. And he's going to introduce us to the key point in regards to the music puzzles. Oh god, sorry about that. So basically what he's doing is he is introducing us to the music in this game. He's gonna be doing different notes again, and basically all those notes are what we're going to use for solving the puzzle. I believe he actually is doing the exact same notes that the Frog Prince was doing before. Let's just get rid of this, because we don't need that right now to solve the next puzzle. We at least don't need it open right now. So this actually leads to the most key point in regards to the music puzzles. What that tiki bird did was it granted us the ability to open up this little musical section, or musical alphabet as I will call it, and start playing whatever musical notes we want. Although, as you can see, the majority of them, all but 4, are locked, so we're not sure what they are. Solving this right here is actually probably the hardest puzzle in the game, figuring out what this is. And we will actually solve it by going back on out to our Frog Prince friend, who is way out over here. So if you look at the notes he is singing, they actually look quite similar to... They look as if they are spelling out a word, and that actually is indeed the case right here. It is actually H-E-L-L-O for what he is singing. So he's singing hello over and over again, and along with that starting piece, each one of the musical notes actually represents a letter of the alphabet, going in order as well. So this one is actually A, B, C, D, and onwards all the way to Z. So basically what most of the puzzles are going to be, or most of the marquee big puzzles in this game are going to be focused on, will be communicating to people through musical notes. So let's actually go onwards over here and we'll see this little crying man. First we're gonna... Oh no, we have to solve the puzzle this way? I want to kill myself on him. Oh, no, we could kill ourselves. So if we go talk to this crying man, he's gonna get, like, really pissed at us and kind of smash us with his head. So obviously we don't want that to happen to our poor little selves. So since he's so sad, why don't we go ahead and try to give him some words of joy or something like that by telling him to be happy, put a little smile on his face. So we're gonna do H-A, then I believe this is P, 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 and Y? Ah, there we go, okay. So by telling him to be happy, that's actually going to put some color into his life and take all of his sorrows away somehow, but, you know. if someone just telling me to be happy... Oh, and that's also going to reveal a lot of the letters, so we can much more quickly manage them in the future. Every time you solve a puzzle using new letters, they will actually reveal themselves, even though you had to figure them out to solve the puzzle in general. But you know, but as I was saying, if someone just coming over and telling me to be happy did wonders like that to me, I would be like the happiest dude on the planet. Like, anytime I'm sorrowful, just walk over and tell me to be happy and it'd change everything. Most of the time, I'm pretty sure that would make me more mad instead. But, so that is actually going to be the ending of, or this is going to mark the ending of the first chapter of the game. There are 3 chapters in this game, and that goes, part of the way of showing how short this one is. Because, you know, we're essentially 1/3 of the way through the game, and that just went through this whole, introduction video right here. But this is, from this point onwards, like, really, that whole segment is kind of the tutorialization segment of the game. So from this point onwards is where I think the game really, really shines, and, gets really cool, really deep, and, honestly, kind of a little bit emotional towards the end, even though it's not incredibly so. But yeah, so this, I should actually talk about the bonus thing. There are all these, you can see this 0 out of 15 chilling up on the top here. Those are like these weird bonus orbs that you could find. I don't think there's one chilling on this map, but, let's actually try to find one, if I remember correctly. This is an aspect of the game that I honestly don't really like. I feel like it's kind of just like a pointless addition, but all over the game there are these tiny little orbs that you could find. There we go, just by essentially clicking their random spots, and then once you click them, you unlock them and get a piece of artwork for each one. The reason why I don't like it is because to find them, you pretty much just have to, like, click all over the map. I don't think I found a single one of them without using a guide. So I don't know. That's something that I feel like is just, like, smacked over top of the game to add a little bit of replay value. But really, it doesn't matter all that much because I think the whole rest of the game is much, much more worth it. So, let's go ahead and go back to the main menu once we can, I believe. Click on you and quit. Oh, leave the game! Okay, never mind, I guess there's no way to go directly back to the main menu. So, as I was, saying, I think there's a lot of positives and quite a couple of negatives, at least, in my opinions, about Finding Teddy. But I've had a lot of fun with this game, and all in all, I think it's well worth its price. Currently, going on Steam, it is $7 or $6.99. So, I think it's well worth it, you know? Like, once again, this is like the second time I've made this argument recently, and I feel bad every time I do it, but like there's the Gone Home or even the Novelist argument where people are like, hey, for a 2-hour experience, it's $20. That's not really worth it. This one is essentially the same time, a little bit less, but around the same time for much less money, and I don't think this game has quite the payoff as either of those games, but it still has quite a big payoff once you get towards the end, and it's well worth the price. So, yes, in the below in the description, I shall put a link to Finding Teddy if you are all interested. I think it is super fun. It's a little bit slow to get into, but once you get past that hurdle, it is all really, really worth it. So, yeah, I think that is going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.